in your opinion?
Mm.
I know you didn't see that one coming.
Men.
Men.
I
That's interesting.
see fewer men than I see women.
Fewer.
So I guess that can translate to men hiding their ailments.
And
I
these
do
not
not know what
women
happens
bringing
when
their
they go at
children
home,
and
but I see practice typically consists majorly of women. Now it might be that women are also involved in bringing children to the hospital, which is why we see times when I see men actually accompany their wife for treatment or their children for treatment.
So, I mean, like you've mentioned some factors as to why some of these individuals, particularly
Don't.
men,
Yeah.
will not come to the hospital to, I mean, maybe see a doctor, or even because they don't like drugs, they don't like injections, they don't have time. Is that time, I'm wondering, and they're swamped up at work, hence they don't have the availability.
I
They're not
cannot make
available,
myself available for the hospital
for
when I have to be at work.
Yeah.
So now, what do you think in this case is
Yeah.
the man's issue?
Or what he can do.
What he can do? Yeah.
I feel that there is no excuse. I mean, practically everybody has an idea that when you have pain on a specific side of the abdomen, you might have appendicitis. I think there's nobody that doesn't know that. I may be wrong. There's no reason for you to hide that sort of pain unless you are worried about surgery and the implication of the costs of surgery.
Okay,
There's no excuse.
I want to talk about the child now. What do you think has led this child to be? I mean, she's already dealing with the trauma of her father that did it before he died too early, as far as she was concerned. Now her husband is doing it and has endangered himself more than once, going by the
Typhoid
examples she
and
gave us.
appendicitis, yeah.
And now her teenage son has started it. Can we go to the why the teenage son would have started it? I suggested that it could have been just watching his father do what he does. But is that enough reason?
You do realize that for a long time, yes, a child's impression of what constitutes what they would call an ideal adult comes from what they observe their parents doing.
True.
Absolutely true.
So the parents, for the boy child, for the male child, the father is the person that they look up to. They aim to become exactly like their dad because there is nobody like your dad. So if daddy does this, obviously it's the right thing to do. Therefore, I will be. After all, a lot of the times when you are training up a child, sometimes we tell the male child, sure, you know you're going to be a man. There is no excuse. You have to be fit. You have to be a go-getter. You have to be this. So for him, seeing the way his dad charges through things, he might believe that if he complains about this or that, he's less of a man, less of a male for doing so.
Okay.
He's learning by example.
That tracks for me. That absolutely tracks for me. You can still call in and send in your messages 0705 69000927 to call or to send a WhatsApp message or a voice note even. I'm already seeing somebody that is seeing stray bullets.
Okay, Ima from Lagos says, Chai, stray bullet, don't touch me, from Gifted Goddess. I don't really hide sickness like that, Sha. That's Sha. Sha. I've not had any serious ailment in recent times. I hate drugs, especially those anti-malaria drugs and paracetamol. They smell so bad. I prefer injections, so except a serious case of convulsion I had growing up, I have not really had any serious health issues. I admit that growing up, I did not always tell my parents of scratches or injuries I got from playing outside or in school.
Ima for Lagos, you're compounding your offenses.
You're even telling us the more reason why if something happens tomorrow, you are likely to hide it.
Doc, how do we get help for this teenage boy and then his father? Or which one should we start with?
I think we start with the father, because if there's a change in the father's behavior, it is more likely to trickle down to the son. Because you can talk till you're blue in the face as a mother, and the males in your life would look at you and say, well, you're a woman, you wouldn't understand what we are dealing with. So if the rationale for making sure you are healthy comes from the father, it would make more sense, because To me, a typical explanation would be you have to be healthy, you have to be hale and healthy to be able to take care of the people around you. You have to be hale and hearty to look after your family. Therefore, you should not take any symptoms or signs for granted. Make sure you visit a hospital, make sure you check yourself regularly, because it is only somebody who is alive that can take care of his family and can be strong. To me, that's the way to go about it.
But she's already told her husband that, look, even my father died because you know, he didn't pay attention to his health until it was too late. So, and he's not budging, clearly. Is there any other way out like this? Or should she just carry a cross and be accepting her fate until whenever, God forbid?
It is, no, she can't. She keeps on talking. She keeps on talking. She keeps on trying to lay a foundation. The fact that you are a mom doesn't mean that you cannot have an impact on your child. And if your husband does not see, it depends on how old I don't know how old the child is.
She says he's a teenager.
He's a teenager.
Yeah.
So,
like 13,
it's
14.
like by the time they enter their teenage years, a lot of habits and behaviors have actually essentially been formed. But that doesn't mean that you do not take your time to talk to your child and explain to your child the importance of health and well-being. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but a lot of time within your religious centers as well, a lot of places are beginning to adopt a focus of rounded health, that they attend to the health and well-being of their parishioners. And that might also be a useful space
Oh, that's
for
a good...
her husband and her child to be able to be open to the importance of looking after yourself.
Doc, that's a good development.
That's really good.
To hear that some religious establishments are paying attention and giving access to health care, I think that's a good, because Doc, let us say it as it is. We have a lot of people who go in the name of religion, won't get medical help because they think I will be saved. God will save me, like he's going to come down from heaven after giving wisdom to people on how to save you. Let's talk about that since we are on this table. Let's Kukuma destroy the whole table in a moment. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will delve into this part of the conversation because it's important.
Super FM 92.7.
Once in a while, an exceptional talent arises to take the comedic scenery to another level. Bird in the southeast, Birds in the south-south, and now in the southwest. Lagos, are you ready as MC Monica presents Who is Chisom? Get ready for a night of rib-cracking, jaw-breaking comedy featuring the best of the comic and music world. Performing live, AY, Kenny Black, MC Shakara, MC Casino, Abaria.com, and lots more. Musical performances by Timi Dakoto, Terry Akbala, Benji Sizizaki, and many more. Venue, Echo Hotels and Suites. Date, Sunday, May 18th, 2025. Red carpet 6 p.m. and main event starts by 8 p.m. Regular 5,000 naira, VIP 30,000 naira, silver table 2 million naira, gold table 3 million naira. Get your tickets online at www.ariatickets.com. For partnership and sponsorship, please call 0706-955-1276. This event is packaged by Landry Maku Events. Media partner, Super FM.
In today's fast-paced world, staying ahead of the curve is crucial. Are you ready to connect with the latest in business and economics? Tune in to The Business Connect, a dynamic program that delivers in-depth analysis of Nigeria's top business headlines and the global trends shaping the world economy. Each week, we bring you the latest updates on everything from financial markets and trade policies to entrepreneurship and cutting-edge innovations. Hear from industry leaders and experts as they break down the topics that matter most in the world of business. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a business professional, or simply curious about the evolving world of commerce, The Business Connect connects you to the pulse of business at home and abroad. Stay informed, stay ahead, make smarter decisions. Tune in to The Business Connect every Monday, 10:30 to 11 a.m. Because in business, knowledge is power. The Business Connect, only on Super 92.7 FM. Don't miss it. One family, one radio.
92.7 Super FM.
All right, we are still right here on Super 92.7 FM. If you're just joining us, you have missed out on some gist, but it's okay. Since you're here, we're glad that you're here. Dr. Kona is still here. Dr. Olubumi Aregbesola. She's a certified medical doctor.
And she is, a doctor at Life Anchor Hospital. She got her certification from Ile-Ife MBCHB Healthcare
Stop,
Management,
don't
also
play.
from the University of Surrey, the United Kingdom. She's an alumnus of the Healthcare Leadership Academy of Nigeria. And one thing that we love her for is that she's dedicated to continuous healthcare quality improvement. She's an advocate for patient-centered care facilitated by patient education to allow them participate in informed decisions about their health and well-being. One of which is the fact that go to the hospital if you are sick.
You see this informed decision.
Go to the hospital if you are sick.
Doc, I know that you have had many different cases, but tell us like 2 or 3 really serious cases that came from someone not going to the hospital in the name of my religion. I strongly believe that whatever I serve will come through for me, and it became a dangerous case. Please share.
Okay. I think I have 2 examples off the bat.
Okay.
I have the case of a young lady who came to us for the removal of a breast lump. And when the histopathology results came back, it was malignant. And we wanted her to refer her to an oncologist for further treatment. And her response was, I reject it in Jesus' name. The next time we saw her, she was rushed in as an acute emergency.
No.
But at that point in time, there was little or nothing we could do. So we only referred her to a...
We've lost you a
tertiary
little,
center.
Doc. I think you moved a little from the phone.
Then another one, cesarean section, operations.
Okay.
We had someone with a baby in breech presentation. That means that the bum is down and the head is up. And she was supposed to be scheduled for a CS. And she refused. Because I will deliver like Hebrew women. Needless to say, we referred her since she will not be delivering like a Hebrew woman in our facility.
She will not be delivering like a Hebrew woman. But Doc, are you still there?
Doc, are you there?
Okay, we're trying to get her right back. I guess the rains have actually affected the network quite a lot lately.
I agree.
So forgive us. Okay, Doc, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay.
So those are the 2 situations I can actually come up with immediately.
Okay.
How?
So how
Yes.
do you change the perception of people in all of these situations? Because I've seen someone who, I think he was, I can't remember, the bone doctor, orthopedic.
Oh, okay.
And an orthopedic doctor
bone
who had a conversation with a girl saying, oh, you have to, because of this injury, you're diabetic. We need to, work towards ensuring that your leg is saved. And she says no, that her mom says no, takes her to church, and the girl had to come back and they had to amputate. And at the point where they didn't, point where they didn't, where they first came to the hospital, it was not going to be a case of amputation. But how do you sensitize people or the public of this menace? Because yes, it is a menace.
What? Because I don't like the term deliver like Hebrew women. I hate it with a passion.
Are you
Why?
serious? You don't like the term deliver like Hebrew women?
And they were under slavery with the Egyptians. The Hebrew women were quiet of necessity because if they made noise, their babies would be killed by the Egyptian soldiers who were wandering around willy-nilly. So using that as a premise for you to refuse any form of medical intervention is wrong. I don't agree with it. And I am a committed Christian. What is the way forward? About 10, 15 years ago, I was in a church where they didn't like the idea of having medical outreaches because they believed it was showing a lack of faith. That we do not believe that God can heal you.
You're kidding.
Needless to say, I didn't spend that much time in that church, to be honest. But where I am now, part of their responsibility to the communities around them is to make sure that several times a year, we have medical outreaches. Several times a year, you have medical practitioners come into the church itself on a Sunday and discuss about common conditions that affect, people around us based on your gender, based on your age, based on family history. And the key word or the watchword at the end of all of this time is to be sure that you go regularly to the hospital. Make sure you get yourself checked. The truth of the matter is that things do not have to go downhill before you visit a doctor. If you go to a doctor early on, then you will find that it is more readily managed than if you go when you have complications.
That's right.
So our goal in each of these religious organizations is to facilitate or get people to visit the hospital early, get people to check themselves even when there is nothing wrong with you.
You know,
I had a man recently when I was speaking in a church, and he told me, I was talking about the importance of prostate assessments for men who are above 40, 50. And he told me, he got up in church and he asked me, there is nothing wrong with me. I've always been healthy. Why should I go for an annual checkup? Needless to say, my mouth dropped for like a few seconds before I now said, well, sir, prostate could be enlarging quite comfortably without giving you any symptoms. And the only indication that you would have that there is something wrong is when you have acute urinary retention. That means you can't pee. You don't realize how important peeing is until you cannot pee.
This is true.
Absolutely.
This is true.
Which is critical.
Doc, this thing you just said. So
Yes.
I think it's important for us to also reiterate that we do not make light of healing and the miracle of healing or faith. This is not to make light of it at all. This is to say that even at that, in fact, when you have a health condition, when you know your health condition, you can now properly pray and get medication.
Right.
They work hand in hand. And when you and then
Faith without work is dead.
it's dead. And also after doing your whatever it is that you do, as you're praying, you're believing God and you're doing what you're doing, you know, getting help. When you are healed, how do you want to know you are healed? You have to go and check again.
Right.
To show that you don't have that ailment anymore. So it's not, this is not to make light of healing and faith, because they actually exist. And I know how many times I've had conditions that, you know, I've prayed about, but I've also had to see
that
a
God
doctor.
took charge of, right?
Yes.
Exactly. But
Let me throw this in here. Do you realize that God is a God that likes specificity?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, he does.
If you are praying to God, he likes you to ask for what it is you want, actually.
Yes.
So now, imagine you visited a hospital and a hospital tells you that they've removed the breast lump and it is malignant. And then you tell God, they say I have breast cancer, that it is stage so and so, and that it can kill me. Over to you, take control. Isn't that a better prayer than saying, God, I'm not feeling fine, please take control?
Right.
Heal me, but
Specificity.
heal me.
I like that.
It's specific.
All right. To join in on the conversation, tell us what your thoughts are on this. 0705 6900927. 0705 6900927. To even throw more light into this conversation, I remember having a conversation with someone when I was I think I was 10 going on 11, and this man had come out to tell me that he has never taken a drug in his entire life, and anytime we're sick we should place our hands in wherever we are, which this is how we're saying it. He would say it, place your hand there and it will go. And at some point when I got malaria, I was telling my mom that no, he said we should. I said, my mother said, better take drugs. Better take drugs, because faith without work is dead. You have faith and then there's nothing you're doing to actually back it up. God will just look at you and say, oh my word, like I gave you a brain, can you use it for a second?
It's quite ignorant. No, this is not even ignorance, because you are aware. There is a knowledge.
There's a knowledge of it.
Knowledge of it. So, my dear, when you were 7 years old, you can be doing your 7 years old behavior. When you're an adult, you're supposed to change up and do better, because you know better. Right, Doc?
Because you know better.
We're going to wrap up really soon, but please share with us again, for anyone who's listening, and again for that woman who's listening, as we're talking about her husband and her son. How, as a mother as well, you're a wife and a mother, so how does she start to talk her husband off this ledge that he's on, because he's literally on a ledge, and then how does she also start to inculcate the right information and knowledge to her son?
I'll start with the son, because I think there is more potential there. As a mom of a son, there is always a close connection between you and the son. I think the important thing for her is to be open. I don't recommend that she talks about the husband at all. No, she's open to him, provides him with relevant information, and tells him the importance of being well. Tell him that initial choices now can have very, very hard outcomes
Can be
in the long
detrimental.
and the medium term.
Yeah.
She needs to be open with him. As a teenager, the teen should be able to understand when you're open and frank. Number one, children can see when you are trying to hide behind the smoke screen. And teenagers should not be lied to anymore. Tell him the honest truth at what he's risking if he doesn't do better than that.
Yeah.
Another thing she should do, I don't know how old the child is. I don't know if the child has access to social media. She should identify, there are lots of people who pass across information in a very, very fun way. Off the top of my head, I have about 2 or 3 that I log on to regularly, and I laugh as I see that the message has been passed across.
Aproko Doctor is one of them.
Genuine sites that use humor and short clips to pass across important medical information, because you will find out that those humorous clips actually stick longer than a long, boring piece of writing that puts you to sleep, so to speak. So she shouldn't give up. She shouldn't give up. She should keep on doing it, and she should keep on reiterating these things. Hopefully it will stick. As for the husband, she can only do what she has been doing. Keep on repeating it. I think she should shy away from talking about what happened to her father and focus on the implications for their family. Tell him that he can only look after them if he's completely hale and hearty, that they can only identify problems when they check them early and do something in them about them early. If it is fear of costs, the earlier you identify a problem, the less expensive it will be to take care of.
That's right.
And that's the honest truth. And it is easier for us too. So instead of running around kitty cat, trying to save somebody who is in crisis, all we can do is to recommend meds and send you home, and you get better over a period of time. I think that's the better way to do it.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Dr. Olubumi Aregbeshola, aka our Dr. Kona. I mean, we have had this conversation. We've been having this conversation since 10:20-ish because of the message that was sent to us regarding a particular woman who has come out to say that her husband is in the habit of hiding his ailments,
yes.
and her son is taking to
After him.
And we decided to have the conversation about the concept of hiding ill health with our doctor today. Thank you so much, Ducky.
Thank you, Doc.
Being here with
You're
us.
welcome.
and
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Doc, random question, right? Are you
Yes.
listening? Yesterday, did you listen to the conversation about sex education?
Oh, she did.
Oh,
She
yes,
did.
I
She did
did.
send a comment. Or comments.
Yes, I did.
It was wholesome, wasn't it?
It was awesome.
Knowing your
It
body
was
parts,
awesome.
not sex education.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you
so
for
much.
always being a part of the show, whether you're on the show as a guest or just as a
even-
listener.
yes.
We appreciate you so
We
much.
love you. Just so you know.
Yeah, you're welcome. I love you too.
All right, Doc.
Thank
If
you
you
for having
like
me.
it. Bye, Doc.
Yeah, bye.
All right, bye. Don't go anywhere, guys. It's wow. It's been an interesting conversation, hasn't it? I'm glad that we had it. And I hope that the lady, if you're listening, because I did tell you to listen today, please do the best that you can, right? It's not on your head, whatever happens, but at least make the effort and focus on your son.
A
He's
little
still
more.
teachable right now. So this is a good,
Teachability.
so this is a good time to start to get him to see the error of his dad's ways without making it about his dad.
I like the subtle threat that Dr. Kona put in there. Like, you can only be alive to take care of us if you are alive yourself. So if you are ill, sir, and you cannot, or you don't want to go to the hospital, you have to get to a point where it's about, you cannot get up from the bed, which has gotten to a really bad state, then no. You need to be alive for your children. I mean, you want to eat the fruit of your labor, right?
Anyways,
Right.
we're going to take a quick break and we go to the other side of things.
Yes.
We're going to
Deep dive.
It's Super 92.7 FM.
Super FM.